States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to be in Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Thank you.
Gerald Hughes, President of the Rotary Club of Liberty, will lead the four-way test.
And I wanted to mention to Brad Howard, this is why I joined Rotary, the four-way test. Please join me in the four-way test. Of the things that we think, say, or do, first, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it bring goodwill and better friendship? And fourth, is it beneficial to all concerned?
And is it fun?
And is it fun?
And is it fun?
And now, past District Governor Brenda Walker will introduce our keynote speaker.
Good Sunday morning, Rotarians and guests. For those of you who missed the inspiration service this morning, it was wonderful. And we're very pleased to get to hear our next speaker, Pete Snyder. And that speech this morning reminded me a little bit of Pete. My husband Stack and I have been honored to serve as his aide this weekend. And Dr. James Calder, in that inspirational speech this morning, his talk, message, he said that he once made a modest complaint to his church secretary. And she said, "Do you want the number?" He said, "What number?" And she said, 1-800-CRY-BABY. So Pete, thank you for not letting me say, do you want the number? But anyway, I'm not going to go through all of Pete's credentials. They're on page 6 in the program. Many of you have probably already read it. But I've known Pete for several years now. He's a wonderful part of our Rotary world. He spoke at several different conferences, been very involved, wonderful benefactor to the Rotary Foundation. And the one thing that I will say about Pete is when he brings us a message, it comes from the heart. So please welcome to the podium, Pete Snyder.
Thank you, Brenda. Governor Nunn, President's Representative Lawrence, Director-elect Brad, past district governors, and my fellow Rotarians. It's really good to be here in Beaumont. This is our first trip to Beaumont, but it's our multiple trips to your district. It's interesting, every time we come to a new town, we try to get out and look around the neighborhood a little bit. We were out walking around in Beaumont, and we walked up to a street corner. There was a couple of guys standing there, and the guy on the left looked over at the guy next to him. He says, "Oh no," he says, "there's my wife and my girlfriend across the street over there." The guy next to him said, "I was going to say the same thing." I'm here to talk about the Rotary Foundation today. I hope you understand that the Rotary Foundation goes hand in hand with our Rotary experience. Without the Rotary Foundation, we would only have half the experience that we have through our Rotary clubs, and it's very important. The more you get involved with it, the more it becomes a part of you, the more it becomes a tool for you to do good in this world. Let me tell you a few stories. I like to tell stories. When I joined Rotary, I was pretty well into my middle age of my life. I really didn't understand service, and I think I didn't understand it because I felt like, what could I do? What could I really do by myself? And so I didn't attempt to do a whole lot. I felt very limited into what I could do to help others. I tried to live a good life, be ethical, be generous, live a moral life, but I didn't understand service. Maybe my Rotary sponsor saw something in me when he asked me to come into Rotary. After I joined, I still had the feeling of helplessness. What can my little Rotary Club do to really make a difference in the world? Well, it was a very slow process, and a lot of things have happened in my life, and in my Rotary life in particular, to bring me to a point where I started to understand that I really could make a difference. I think it started out, my first international experience was when my Rotary Club hosted the group study exchange team, and we had one of the Koreans stay in our home, and we got to know her. And I looked back, and I had previously been talking to a Peace Corps volunteer, and we had a conversation about people. And his comment was, people are the same all over the world, said, but cultures are very different. So I started to see that if we're going to make connections around the world, we have to do it on a people-to-people basis. We can't connect our cultures, but we can certainly connect our people. And when the people are connected, then the cultures can start to merge. People remind me how long ago I was district governor. Brad just nodded. We were classmates. We started our governor-elect gets training on 9/11/01 in Lafayette, Louisiana. It was a very, very tough weekend for all of us, but in particular for all of us together as our governor-elect training for zone at that time, 25 and 26, training got together. I have to admit it was very comforting to be in the company of Rotarians when something like that happens. But it affected all of us, and when I got back to Dallas, one of my Rotarians came up to me, and he handed me a little note, a little handwritten note. It said on a page, he said, these events of 9/11 really affected me as it did all of us. He said, you're in a position where you can do something to bring some good out of all of this. He said, on the anniversary of 9/11, and we had our training on 9/11/01, I was governor in 02/03, and I was going to be district governor in 02/03. He said, we could do something simple, just have a simple walk, memorial walk for 9/11 to commemorate the heroes and to pay homage to the victims of 9/11. And he said, maybe we could raise a little money and do some good with it. And we thought about it a little bit, and we thought, what can we really do with the money? The victims of 9/11 and the first responders and all of them were very well taken care of. What can we do with something like this to make a difference? Well, at the time, Rotary had something new starting up, and it's something that I really believe in, and it's something that I hope all of you believe in, and that was form the Centers for Peace and Conflict Resolution. You know, people talk about peace, they teach conflict resolution in college. Nobody had taught peacemaking before Rotary. So we determined we were going to have this walk, and we did in fact have a walk. When I was out in California for our governor's training, I passed Doug's little letter around, and a number of different governors of my classmates took notice of it. We had our walk in Dallas, we raised $17,000. Around the country, total, we raised $73,000, and that money went to the Rotary Centers for Peace and Conflict Resolution. And it's in the endowment fund, and so forever that $73,000 will be contributed to Peace on Earth. And it's something I think that I'm very proud of, and very proud of Doug for getting that started, one single Rotarian. Peace on earth, goodwill to man. How many of you get that in a Christmas card every year? All of us. What are we gonna do about it? We're doing it now. And I was at somewhere, and I don't remember where, maybe a past officers reunion, maybe an international convention, but a Rotary event. And there was a Rotarian that was speaking, and he said, when you think about it, he said, everything we do in the Rotary Foundation contributes to peace. Everything we do in the Rotary Foundation contributes to peace. When we ease somebody else's pain, when we ease somebody else's needs, when we meet other people's needs, when we get people together around the world, we're contributing to peace in the world. And I think we do it better than anybody else in the world. When Sherry and I got married, 37 years ago almost, we took our honeymoon down in the British Virgin Islands. And by the way, Brenda, the last trip down, we met with Vance Lewis and Lloyd Black, had lunch with them. They were the Group Study Exchange team leader and district governor from down there. And it was really good to see them. It was one of those connections we hope to keep. And every year we went back sailing to the British Virgin Islands, and it became like a second home to us. So when I had the idea, or when the chance came up to be district governor, I thought, geez, I would love to have my district conference in that District 7020 down in the Northern Caribbean. And I was looking forward to it. And the news came out who all was elected. That year, for the first year in 30-some years, the district governor was from Haiti. I thought, oh man, I didn't know about Haiti. I was used to the British Virgin Islands or Anguilla, St. Bart's, St. Martin, some of the other islands that were vacation spots. But Amos was from Haiti, and I thought, well, I made this determination, I wanted to do that match, let's do it. So I called up Amos, we got together in San Antonio at the convention, we made a deal to do the match, and it went well. And it's very interesting. Rotary keeps teaching me lessons that I didn't know. Amos in his determination, and it's the tradition down there, when they have a group study exchange, their team members all come from the same island. So our team members, the inbounds, came from Haiti. And I real honestly wasn't expecting a lot. You hear of all the troubles in Haiti. And they came in, and we got the most articulate, educated, polite group study exchange that our district has ever seen. I mean, we'd seen plenty of good ones, but there was none better than the Haitians when they came in. And that was a big lesson to us. And the other lesson that it taught me, by the way, is that there's hope in Haiti when there's people like that in this country. When my team members went down there, now when we advertised for our group study exchange team to go there, I talked to Amos and I'd said, there's a lot of different islands and different parts of your district that it'd be nice if the team could see some of them. And Amos agreed to that, but when they have a district conference, they get everybody together and they have their, all of the islands, because they travel so much, they have their district assembly, their district conference, all of that at the same island at the same time. So they spend a week or two doing all of this when they can all get together. So we had scheduled 2 weeks in Haiti and another 2 weeks in St. Bart's, St. Martin, and Anguilla. The Anguilla trip, by the way, was I'd asked for because when I made up at a Rotary Club there, they fined me $20 and I wanted to get back to them, back at them. But the team got back from all of there, and by the way, we'd advertised for all of this is take a month of study in the Northern Caribbean. Sounds pretty good. The team got back and we sat down and talked to them, and to a person, our group study exchange team members said, St. Bart's, St. Martin, Anguilla, they said that was nice. Said, we're really, really grateful we got to spend that time in Haiti because that's what meant the most to us. That's what changed our lives. And there's lessons to be learned from that. After the Chicago convention in 2005, we got back home, and that following Monday, we got an email from one of the inbound group study exchange team members from Haiti. And it told us that Amos, my classmate, our classmate, Amos DeRosier, had been kidnapped. And they were holding him for ransom and asking $300,000 to get him free.